Hey, good morning, everybody. Carolyn Hauser Carson here with a hot topic. This is in response to what's going on with Me Too. Me posting something yesterday that stirred up a lot of things for people, and also recognizing the need to really speak about this because I've been someone who I gave away my power when I was 3, and I've been on this journey to healing from sexual abuse and sexual trauma and helping hundreds of people by now for the last 20 years. So good morning. If you're here, let me know where you're joining from, and let me know that you're here. Normally I do an energetic tune up every morning in a prayer, but for today I just wanted to really do a Facebook Live and talk about this issue. Good morning, Deb. So if you're here and if you can comment and if you can share this with people that you think will benefit from learning about this, because it's really important. Because most people really think of sexual trauma or, whether it's rape, childhood sexual abuse, molestation, just being looked at inappropriately, being touched inappropriately, feeling like you're in a work environment where you're constantly being demeaned. It doesn't matter what it is. The reason why this is such an epidemic, and the reason why now it's coming out and people are finally starting to speak up, is because our sexuality is our core energy. It's who we are. It's the most sacred. It's the most closest to our being. Awesome. Thank you, Deb. I can see your comments. That's awesome. It is where we're the most vulnerable, and it's also where we're the most powerful, right? And right now is a time for us to wake up and step into our power, and we can't do that if we're still hurting, and if we're and I realize, for a lot of people that have posted Me Too, right? For a lot of people, it's the first time saying something and speaking up, and that's an important step in your own journey to acknowledge that it has happened, right? What I want to talk about today is the next step. What's next? How do you heal from those things? Because statistics, the statistics have been around. I wrote my book Blossom 4 years ago, which is a book on sexual trauma healing, and I did a lot of research, and the statistics from what we know, which you can assume that there's a lot more that we don't know, are that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men have been somehow sexually abused, molested, traumatized, and so this is not new information. What's new is that people are actually willing to look at it, and which I think is a good thing, because we all need to get in our power, and we can only get into our power if we start healing the part where our core power has been seemingly taken, and we've also then consecutively been giving it away. So please keep commenting and sharing. And the 2 things I wanted to mainly talk about. So my story, just briefly, is that when I was 3, my grandfather started sexually molesting me, and I didn't speak up. I gave my power away because out of love, right? I loved my grandfather, and it was strange, and also I was very little. It was very confusing. And then over my teenage years and into my 20s, I kept giving my power away. I was anorexic and bulimic because I thought that's a way how I could regain my power. I felt at first really powerful, and then that thing, the eating disorder took a life of itself and gave my power to that, and then I gave my power to other situations until I had several moments where I had given so much of me away that I literally had a complete physical collapse and couldn't go on. And that was kind of the turning point for me 5 years ago. And from then on, I've learned to really make my own energy management, and that's something I'm going to talk about in just a little bit, top priority. So this is for you if you feel like you've been impacted. And well, the other thing with these statistics are that it's proven that if people have gone through trauma, specifically sexual trauma, they have a much harder time being successful in their career, being successful in their lives, being successful in anything. And you know, in the public view, it is because, you know, people, their self-esteem suffers, and you feel less confidence. But you know, the truth is, it's because it's an attack on your power center. And if you're out of power, there's nothing that you can create, right? So it's really hard to create when your sexual center has been damaged. And so what I want to talk about, which a lot of people don't talk about, is that when sexual trauma happens, yes, it is a psychological impact, but in order to heal it, you can't just treat it from like a mental health perspective, and maybe a lot of therapists are going to hate me for this, but talking about it, therapy is not going to help you heal. If you're in therapy, keep going. Therapy has its place. It's great to have somebody that's there for you. But in order to heal, something else has to happen, because it is partly a psychological impact, but much more so an energetic and physiological impact. So when trauma happens, when something really, really scary and painful happens to us, our nervous system shuts down. It's almost like, you know, we have this electrical wiring, and that's how we function in this world, our nervous system. And when an impact happens that's so grave, you know, whether it's over time or one or multiple times, it doesn't matter the gravity of the impact. What matters is how it feels to you, and how scary it is to you, and how overwhelming it is to you. It's like your energetic system, your nervous system, literally gets fried. And what happens from then on is that you are pretty much stuck in a fight or flight modus. Your brain goes into survival mode. And so our brain has three different parts. It's the reptilian brain, which is connected to survival, fight or flight, then our midbrain, and then our higher brain. All our creativity and our ability to be resourceful, really, and make decisions that are supporting us come from our ability to access our higher brain. Now, if you have experienced an impact that was grave, as soon as your subconscious, and this happens before you know, this is all on the subconscious level, before you can even blink your eye, you know, before you can even notice, if there's some kind of thing that just vaguely reminds you of a dangerous situation, you're reacting from fight or flight, and there's no way that you can make decisions that are really in your best interest. I call them decisions from your wise woman, from your woman that knows how to make decisions that are good for you, right? This is like your animal, the animal that just wants to survive. And those decisions, when those decisions come from our reptilian brain, all they will do is help us survive. But we're not here to just survive. We're here to thrive and be powerful beings, especially if you're watching this. So if any of this makes sense, let me just know, yes, this makes sense. Or if it doesn't make sense, let me know, no. So the great thing about what I just shared is that the only person who can heal your energetic and nervous system is you, because you are in your body. And in order to heal your nervous system, you need to use your body. And there's several ways. Thanks for saying yes, and thanks for saying that this makes sense. We need to be in our body to heal our nervous system. And there's several ways how to do that. And I'm not going to go into them, because I wrote a book, as I mentioned. I wrote Blossom. It's called Blossom, Your 7-Step Journey to Healing Childhood Sexual Abuse. It's not just about childhood sexual abuse. That was my experience. But what I'm sharing works for anybody who has experienced not just even sexual trauma, but trauma, period. And so I'm going to be sharing the ebook version of my book I try to share it for free, but because it's published on Kindle, it will not let me share it for free. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can have it for free. And if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, you will have to pay 99 cents. The book normally sells for $15 on Kindle and for $20 on paperback. So a lot of what I'm talking, obviously I only have a short amount of time this morning. So I just wanted to give you an idea and give you something that really works, because like I said, I've been helping people around the world for the last, for the last 5 years really actively, and for the last 20 years, one at a time. Now I have thousands of people that follow me. So this is stuff that works. It's worked in my life. My life has completely transformed. My clients' lives have completely transformed, whether it's the relationships, finally being able to allow a loving and great man, because there's many great men, and obviously it's not just for men, it's for women, it's also if you're a man, there's great women too. And you're meant to be in a great relationship and have love and experience pleasure, right? Even if that's hard to imagine for you right now, but it's very possible. No matter what you've gone through, you can do this work. It's not scary. You don't have to relive the trauma. It's really just about being in your body and allowing yourself to feel feelings, learning to feel your feelings again, right? So the first important point I want you to take from this today is that sexual trauma where there's a huge impact on your nervous system, is not just a psychological problem. And the reason why so many people are still stuck and haven't healed is because in our society, this is not known. A few therapists might know this, a few psychiatrists might know this, but generally it's treated like, a mental illness, and you get talk therapy. You don't get therapy that helps you be in your body and release the trauma from your body. And that's what needs to happen. You're not broken. You're not permanently damaged. Really important. And you're the one that can do the work. So the second thing I wanted to share also is going with looking at this from an energetic perspective. We are energy beings. We're made of energy. Obviously, we don't look like we're just energy, but we're just very dense energy and matter. And specifically when sexual trauma happens, most of us have a lot of shame and guilt, right, around it. And energetically looking, or energetically, vibrationally speaking, shame and guilt are the lowest vibrations there are. They're in the 20s. And to just give you an idea, anything that's life-sustaining is above 200 from an energetic, if you could measure energy and the vibration, at what level it vibrates, at what frequency, how fast it vibrates, in other words. Anything below 200 is life-destroying. So for most of us that have gone through sexual trauma, we carry a lot of shame and guilt. Mostly, shame, and it's unconscious. And so when we have unconscious shame and guilt, just imagine having this really heavy load, and I don't have to tell you this, you don't feel good. That's the negative energy that you're feeling. And you can't get rid of it by talking about it and doing affirmations and so forth again. Right? It's really important to realize that again, you are the one that has power. This is where you can reclaim and re-own your power. You have power over this. You have power over your own vibration. You have power over how you vibrate. And you might not be able to go from feeling, really low and having lots of suppressed, or maybe even not even so suppressed anymore, feelings, to feeling awesome. But when you focus on instead of analyzing and doing work that has to do with your mental space, when you focus on really doing the work with your physical body, it can happen fairly quickly, because, as I said, it's not that scary. You don't have to go into the story. You don't have to relive the images. You don't have to, you don't have to even be confronted with the story or the person. It's all about how things feel within, and then learning to put your attention on your physical body. And there's many practices in the book I share 49 different practices. There's a practice for every day. It's a 7-week journey where bit by bit, you know, you learn to come back into your body, familiarize yourself with feeling, allowing yourself to feelings, having them come out, letting them come out. You know, if you're angry right now, that is a good step. It's better than feeling numb, right? But then there's the next step, because anger is still below the level of 200. Courage, then, usually from anger, you come to courage. And when you're encouraged, then you can do something. And for myself, I know, you know, and this is what I posted about yesterday, and that challenged a lot of people and triggered a lot of people. For myself, I know that I wanted to learn how to be in my power this time around, and I know that I had to have the experiences that I had to learn to love myself completely, to learn to learn about me and how I do it, how I give my power away, and how I cannot do that, and how I can be in my power, right? And right now is a time where we, and I'm saying we, you know, as I am somebody who has a lot of privileges. I live in the Western world. I'm white. I'm fairly intelligent, right? Those were all things that were given to me. I didn't do anything for them. So if you're someone like me, and it doesn't have to be, you know, about color or anything like that, but if you are a woman that has a lot of resources, and you know you came here with a bigger purpose, then it's for us to do this work, so then we can really get on with doing, creating, you know, my dream life is the world that works for everyone, where there's no violence anymore, where there's no poverty, where there is no starvation, where there's, you know, where people live peacefully. And if we want to accomplish something like that, it's possible, but it's only possible if we all completely own our power, right? And so I'm hoping with what I'm sharing today, that you feel inspired. If you're watching this and you know people that can benefit from this, please share it. Encourage them to download the book. So many people have gone through the book and really, really benefited. I went through that journey myself, right? And again, you know, we don't have power over what other people do. What we have power over is how we react, and how we react is hugely determined by how much in balance our nervous system is, right? So if you can make it a priority to help yourself to get your nervous system into balance, the better. And I actually do normally at 9 o'clock in the mornings at this time. Every morning I do a Facebook Live that is just a prayer and a meditation to help you come to your center and to help you start the day, or if you're, you know, in a different time zone, over here you can do it in the middle of the day, to help you come from a centered and powerful place, so that you can respond in a way that doesn't perpetuate trauma and drama and more chaos and more distraction, that allows you to be in your power and be effective in your life, right? So with that, today we're doing something a little differently. I'm not doing readings today because I posted a post about the Me Too movement yesterday, and it got stirred quite up some things, and so I wanted to go live and just give people that are hurting right now, and that are not knowing, and that are just finding out, and people that have been on this journey for longer, I wanted to give you something, hope for once, and also something very tangible. So the link to the Kindle version of Blossom is in the description here. So please keep sharing this video and keep encouraging people to download Blossom. I'm going to leave it at 99 cents, and maybe I can still figure out a way to really give it away for free, but for now that's what it has to be. I hope this was helpful. If we can all stand together and talk about this openly, which has been my desire for a long time. That's why I wrote the book, you know. I'm actually thrilled that people are talking about it now, and I'm not the only one. So help me spread this message, and help people download the book. And if it's something for you, download it for yourself. So all my love to you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.